Hello and welcome back to the latest dev diary for Götterdämmerung. This time it's Germany, and that explains the Christmas jumper I'm wearing. It's not because it's really cold in my house, no, it's because for me, this is Christmas. This is going to be a beautiful dev diary, and most importantly, it is all free stuff. It's mostly all about the changes that are going to be pushed out with the patch. So this is appealing to absolutely everybody, and I'm so excited. If you haven't seen me before, hi, I'm Aldrahill. I make 1 to 2 HOI videos a week, mostly focused on historical stuff and some challenges. This explains why I'm so interested in and excited for this historical Germany. Start with a little bit of a quick historical recap, and you can actually find this dev diary in the link below, and you can also watch Paradox's own video where they give a short summation of it. But if you're interested in watching a full breakdown with a specific focus on history, let's get started. So we've got the glorious problems of Germany post-Versailles, the harsh stipulations on Germany, hyperinflation, instability. It's just an awful time in Germany. We've got a revamped opening bookmark screen, very nice images. We have a new Schmittler picture, which I'm not amazingly in love with. Kind of doesn't look like Hitler to me. And I think it's important that Hitler looks like Hitler. Everyone knows you got to have Hitler that looks like Hitler. But, you know, everything is subject to change in these dev diaries. We have brand new focuses with a big visual leaning towards those glorious, like, eagle dragon things that the German army love to have at this time. The national spirits. We have the standard bitter loser, which actually has the debug key sour loser, which I think is very funny, which is just ideology drift defense. I feel like that also had political power gain in the base game. All right. But the main thing here is the revamped Mepho bills, and this is going to be so cool. Mepho bills, if you're not aware, I mean, Germany, you start with it. They were a sort of financial get around the Versailles Treaty to allow Germany to rearm, essentially a fake company that basically extended the amount of government bonds that Germany could utilize, and they could actually trade those bonds at a set rate of 4%, which is better than government bonds, so that they could continuously make fake money. It's difficult to describe without some fundamental understanding of economics, but basically they were using fake debt that was real and was being traded by companies, but also could not be redeemed for money, and it was extended every 90 days. Basically allowing them to borrow money at decent rates against the Versailles Treaty without having to use their own budget deficit, which would clue in other countries that they are rearming. And in base game, it's kind of boring. It's just a sort of political power malice, and it gives you military factory construction speed. This time, the consumer goods factor increases by 3% each month, up to 100%, which is super cool, especially if they have non-core states controlled by German Reich, which means that it's going to get worse and worse as you attempt to conquer more things, which is awesome. You get reduction of intelligence to others, and the standard mill factory construction speed. We have the Deutsche Heer with planning speed bonus, 15% loss of supply efficiency, which is very interesting, and extra org. So in Kriegsmarine, reducing a defense, and Luftwaffe, requiring more manpower and extra air accidents chance, because the German Air Force wasn't amazing in the build-up to World War II, but then got very good, but still had a lot of problems. I'm very excited to see about the Mepho bills, but we're going to learn more about that in a future dev diary. It's going to be very different and hopefully should replicate the system much better. In the mod World Ablaze, for example, there's a really good representation where you have to basically loot countries to pay down Mepho bills. I don't know if it's Mepho or Mepho, I'm not sure. And the whole point of conquering is because you need to, or your economy will collapse. It's super interesting. I love the way that works. So we talk a little bit about the Kriegsmarine here, how they never really did anything very good. There's some small successes but heavy losses. Naval-only Germany, let's go. And of course the Luftwaffe. But can you improve the horrible situation with these national spirits? Here is the reworked German focus tree, the historical German focus tree. Specific mention about this new focus tree is that it is bigger. Very good. That's very nice. It means we have to prioritize, so we are not going to be able to do everything. Historically, they would probably neglect the Navy a little bit. They were ill-prepared, and they basically sucked. This is true. Loads of glorious generals, but you start with fewer generals and field marshals, with more being unlocked. Very interesting. Von Rundstedt. The only field marshal you start with is von Blomberg, so you have to get more later. Definitely want to do that. And you can get them back through on the new military branch of the focus tree, with a division between the Prussian legacy and the Adopt New Panzer doctrine. Gain access to several historical generals and promote others to field marshal. Very cool. New tech and tactics using tanks or the lessons from the Great War. So infantry backup artillery or tanks. You gotta go for the tanks, come on. But very interesting. The Prussian legacy itself gives you Grand Battle Plan Doctrine and Operational Planning, which when activated gives you 5% infantry attack for 90 days. And then up towards Stormtroopers. Very cool. This is interesting. So this is essentially an upgradable thing. This is meant to simulate Blitzkrieg, but can also be used for infantry instead if you want to go the alternative option. And you can upgrade it as you go and use it in specific regions. So France, Belgium, and Poland, costing 50 command power and 50 XP. All numbers are not final. So this basically gives to the entirety of France, you get 90 days, and this buffed one contains 10% infantry attack, Orgloss when moving the same, Arty and motorized and mechanized attack 5%. So that's very cool. That is a fully maxed out Stormtrooper one. So that actually doesn't give any bonuses to tanks. Interestingly, it's actually infantry. But the Orgloss when moving is very good. And the flat attack for motorized and mechanized is going to be good for the actual tank divisions, because they're going to have plenty of those. Statement of the last 90 days. And they are repeatable once a year to represent the historical pushes. So you can do a big summer push into the Soviet Union once per year. Very cool. And the Prussian Legacy Pass gives you a new support company called Stormtrooper, which is, it says it's just a flat support company. It gives 22 defense. That's surprisingly good. And a flat 20 HP. I love support companies that give you flat HP. That is brilliant. And it gives flat 10% breakthrough to all infantry and motorized mech. Very, very nice. And then we have the tank option. I apologize. That was the infantry option prior to that. If you go down the historical option, you can get an armored division attack 10% alongside the motorized and mechanized attack as well. Extra breakthrough, extra armor speed, and Orgloss when moving. Very cool for doing beautiful Dunkirks. Not quite as powerful with the infantry flat bonus, but still very useful. We have new Panzer Doctrine to give you some doctrinal bonuses, as well as a bunch of generals like Rommel and Guderian. And these are the maxed out Deutsche Heer by completing the army bonuses on both sides. And with the left, we've got Org, equipment capture ratio gain, very cool, planning speed, and cold and hot climatization factor, good for Russia. Air superiority bonus, special forces, fuel consumption 10%, initiative and coordination. And this is new Panzer Doctrine. So this is very nice for pushing into the Soviet. Whereas on the right, if we did Prussian Legacy, it's Org. Artillery defense, that's interesting. Those are the same. Oh, you still keep the same acclimatization factor. Wait, what's the difference here? This one just seems worse. This one is just worse in every way. Okay. Oh no, 10% entrenchment. The main thing is 10% entrenchment. So basically, trench warfare. Awesome, awesome. And we have the Luftwaffe branch, where we can specialize with historical paths of dive bombers and CAFs, or more tactical and strat bombers. This gives you aces and actually gives you percentage bonuses for, I guess, the rest of the game. Dive bombers giving air support mission efficiency. Very nice. Tactical bombers giving 10% strat bombing. Oh my lord. And 5% air support mission efficiency. So a nice compromise. Or the Udo bomber program to do strat bombing. And it gets 15% air range. And only 5% strat bombing, which is a bit weird. And you also get free variants. The U-87G, the CAS U-88 TAC, or the U-89 Strat Bombers. Very cool, very cool. And it also funds automatically those chaps. So they're very nice. Those are going to be quite strong. I wish I hadn't just done Strat Bomber only Germany. It's going to get a little bit better now. 15% air range. Damn. Got a new beautiful Goering trait, giving production cost reduction for all of those planes as well. Very cool. And we can also replace him later on, giving us a fully developed Luftwaffe with ace generation chance, air support mission efficiency, agility, and air fuel consumption reduction. That's pretty damn strong. That makes a powerful air force. The Navy's branch is a little bit smaller. There's no mutually exclusive choices here, though, which is really weird. And it's got the two kind of changes of trade interdiction, Plan Z, and obviously the trade interdiction being the actual historical focus. But do you want to go down the route of building up a brand new navy, or do you want to just have subs? But you can't work on both Z and trade interdiction at the same time. Once you've started on one of these paths, the other gets locked until you've completed the final one in each of the secondary branches, and then you can go back to unlock all of those. That is interesting. So say you finish trade interdiction first. This locks you out from beginning all this. You then have to do all the way down here to unrestricted convoy rating, then you can move to plan Z, but you can't do any other focuses there. So you really got to prioritize your focuses here. You can't really get too much. A fully upgraded one of the Schiffskraft gives you some naval organ fuel consumption and also a bunch of speed bonuses. And Kriegsmarine itself, subs, naval hits, convoy rating efficient. These are good. These are good bonuses. It's going to make it very easy to sink British convoys. And we also have their glorious special bonuses for Wunderwaffen. Ooh. And it's just a flat 10% bonus towards specific research speeds for certain Wunderwaffen. So the modern battleship and carrier, tank special projects, so like the Rat, oh baby, give me the Rat. Submarine special projects, looking forward to that one. Jets and rock, gonna be cool. The industry branch has a big division, actually. This is nice. Look at this. We have prioritize economic growth or the 4-year plan. Goering's 4-year plan, and then move on down through that. How interesting. I'm guessing one of them is going to be slower or faster than the other. So going down the 4-year plan is going to make you stronger in the short term, but leaves you open to problems caused by the MIFO bills. Okay, ready for war a lot sooner. You get autarky efforts, which locks free trade and export focus. So no more can you just dance over to free trade to get all those beautiful bonuses and then pop back over to export focus or autarky to avoid having to give all your resources to your puppet and friends. Very cool. Going into autarky gives construction speed 5%, research speed 5%, resource to market 15%. Damn, only 15%. That's crazy. Okay, that's pretty good. Doesn't give any bonuses really though. Like, it's nowhere near as good as free trade, but it's massive reduction. Let's just check this. Autarky has 15% resources to market. Compare that to limited exports where it's 25% resource to market. A common move, very early move for Germany, is to go straight to free trade with your first 150 pp because you get all these beautiful factory bonuses in construction speed that's far better than the other ones. And it's really, really powerful, I think. It's a good thing. It's not because you don't need all your resources. You're very resource rich. And then as you go on further, either shifting to export focus or limited exports to keep more of your resources so you don't have to lose so many civvies to trade. But, oh my god, 10% less resources to market, but you lose that bonus factory output. So it could be worth being on free trade and avoiding the eco tree for a little bit to get that 15% factory output. I'm not sure. Depends how quickly you really want to rush the 4-year plan and autarky efforts. And going down, the second unique law is the economic law of Total Krieg, which is essentially to replaces Total Mobi and gives pretty much the same bonuses. I think that's the same bonuses. It also instantly unlocks women in the workforce, but it only cuts recruitable pop by 1.5. If you're not aware, total mobilization is like the strongest economic law in that it gives you the lowest the lowest consumer goods and the highest mill construction speed, but it takes 3% of your recruitable pop away, and you can do women in the workforce to get that 3% back at the cost of stability. But this one gives you women in the workforce 3%, but it only costs you 1.5%. So essentially this is as good as total mobilization and volunteer only extra, the recruitment law giving you 1.5%. That is going to solve a lot of German manpower problems. Wow, 1.5%. That's a ton. Like, what is the recruitable population of Germany? Like, it's in the millions, so we're talking several 100,000 free manpower, maybe even up to 1 million, I'm not sure. All right, so a non-historical path of prioritizing economic growth basically wrecks you. Okay, you get a couple of civvies, some bad bonuses, and you pay MEFO bill payments for 60 days, and then you get recovering economy damaging you pretty unpleasantly. Oh my god, 75% consumer goods for ages. This ruins your economy, but then you can rebuild it. It's kind of like Spanish Civil War repair. Okay. You get more building slots for more factories, but they take longer to complete, meaning the 70-day focuses, and are locked behind tech and stuff. And you also get Ludwig Erhard, the man behind the German economic miracle after World War II. So you get the recovery. Okay, still basically trying to simulate the early 1950s German economic miracle, where they just sort of exploded in economic potential through investment within new technologies and their own services sector and industries. Massive, not rearmament, but just economy. To be fair, they were propped up by US loans as well. Wirtschaftswunder, giving resource, fully upgrade one, you get decent bonuses, kind of small. 15% construction speed's very good. Trade extra resource per factory. That is going to be very cool for being able to stay on like free trade and still get stuff. Damn. And let's compare the fully developed Verstandswunder with the slow path with the evolved version of Mifo-Bills, which is Economy of Conquest, which they're going to leave behind. I think that's basically trying to talk... Yeah, so that's going to be replicating what I mentioned earlier with World Ablaze, where the entire idea is that you have to pay down your Mifo-Bills and your massive economic debt through deliberate conquest to loot the country. I think it was like you could pay it down by like 10 or 15%, and it went up when you were mobilized, when you increased your mobilization law, so you had to conquer. Otherwise, your economy would crumble. And this one, the upgraded one of Economy of Conquest, is 2.5% each month, up to 100. My God, that's terrible. 30% a year. And then you get a bunch of economic bonuses: production efficiency cap and growth, lack of resources penalty, 10% factory output, mills 20%. Pretty good. With the other one being 15% bonuses and 10%. So it's a little stronger over here. Pretty cool. And resource gain efficiency. And the Wirtschaftswert, which I assume you get on the right. That's pretty good. Oh, no, there's 10% resource gain efficiency and extra construction speed and synthetic oil and refinery. So very powerful, but I imagine very unpleasant to have to pay it down all the time. Okay, so we got the new focus tree focusing on the political branches. So pretty similar. I like how they've done the historical. Oh, yes, and also they've done the historical path. They provided an historical filter. If you got the little red bands, it means these were the ones that were chosen. Probably not necessarily in the same order, but they were chosen in historical to keep you aware of what the correct option is. So I don't have to constantly Google HOI4 Germany historical focus tree order. And you can also turn it off, but I'm definitely going to have it on. Far Eastern Path allows you to reclaim old colonies and align more closely with China or Japan and decide how you want to handle things. So standard, befriend China, befriend Japan. Can I get Qingdao back? Can I help Shek, or should I help out Japan? Okay. Decide if you want to approach the Chinese in order to take the Japanese, or rather strengthen your ties with Japan for a more advanced navy and go after the USA. Okay. The unholy Berlin-Moscow... Ooh, yeah, the Berlin-Moscow allowance, the cringe focus that aligns you with the Soviets. It now only lasts 2 years, so you'll have your cake and eat it too. You can focus on the Western Front, but then you gotta pay the piper. Oh, baby. So we get a peace and truce with Moscow for 2 years, and then it all falls apart. Very cool. But it means, you know, you do that in, what, 39 or 40. Well, I mean, actually doing September 39, it just means you're declaring war on the Soviets a tiny bit later than historical, right? So I guess maybe you do that in 1940? No, you have to be at peace. Oh my God, you actually have to be at peace. Oh wow, that's interesting. Ooh. All right, now the bread and butter. We go into Europe. So you first have to decide if you're going to go with Ribbentrop to reorganize the Wehrmacht or heed von Neuer's concerns. The first gives you Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact and then aggression pact with the USSR and dismissal of many generals, because it was a very important event, the reorganization of the Wehrmacht just before the outbreak of the war, and is how Hitler became supreme commander. The second option means you listen to the concerns of the Wehrmacht and actually prepare, but you won't have the non-aggression pact with the Soviets. Yeah, you probably don't need that, right? But reorganizing the Wehrmacht removes some various chaps, but you do get advisor cost reduction with Hitler, and you get von Ribbentrop and some small bonuses. Okay, very interesting. And then you can do a revamped Anschluss, which is mentioned in the Austria Dev Diary that we covered before. And to be able to get it, the numbers are very, very high to be able to do so, but basically you need to have a pretty big army that's actually in the field and equipped, which is very interesting. Be a bigger army than Austrians, and has to be well equipped. Very interesting. And we have a little tiny branch here about bribing senior officers and trying to make people chill with army indoctrination in Streif Battalion. There is no balance of power for Germany, however, and the Reichskommissariats have been expanded upon, a new feature's been added, but that's for another dev diary. That's fine, but I'm very looking forward to that. Regarding the SS divisions, the systems have been reworked a bit. SS divisions are now unlocked through the Focus Expand SS divisions, which not only allow the recruitment of foreign SS units, but will right away spawn historical German units. And infantry battalions are represented as militia, and they can be improved by Himmler within the Inner Circle system. Okay, very cool. Getting kind of free units, and they get a new little model. Turning to internal affairs, we got a nice long list of different advisors. Very interested to see all the different stat changes here. Very cool. The main boys, though, go to the Inner Circle system, which is another dev diary, sadly, but that's going to be really cool to see how they balance all of the different Nazi leadership. Is there a way of vying for power, the different bonuses you can get? Lots of different army command bonuses as well. And we have the MIOs. They've been expanded along with unique traits and even organizations. I really like the MIOs. I know some people consider them a little controversial, but I think they're really cool. I hate assigning them, but I really like the versatility, and some of the bonuses get obscenely strong. Well, Alket with assault guns manufacturer. Okay, we have a unique one for SPGs, and oh, that sounds really, really cool, because I really love the whole vibe of in Germany of, you know, building loads of Panzer IIs, and tank divisions mostly get them. And by the time the war starts, you got maybe like 1 battalion of Panzer IIIs and 4s, and then as the war goes on, the tank divisions become entirely mediums, and then the lights get retooled into assault guns, SPGs, tank destroyers, and then heavy tanks get added, and some of the older medium tanks get retooled as well. I think that'd be so fun. You know, the Panzer III the Panzer III chassis was one of the most constructed chassis in the whole damn war, because they were just slapping new guns on it willy-nilly. That'd be so cool. Whoa, lots of MIOs for ships. That's new. Battleship line builders looks different. We got a submarine designer that's different. Very cool. And a huge air MIO list. I mean, obviously, Messerschmitt and Junkers and Focke-Wulf, Heinkeldonia. But then we got a multi-role Arado. Naval aircraft design looks different. And a Fock Eichgel with early helicopter designer. Helicopter only. Helicopter only. Maybe you could have a little different logo here. That'd be nice. Oh, there's even more for the material equipments. The assault guns, yes. The Rheinmetall. Armored car designer, I guess it's a new one. Auto Union. And the support equipment manufacturer is different as well. Karl Walder. Okay. And there are now more industrial concerns. The Farben Krupp. Siemens is normal. But we got a mining company, Reichswehr conglomerate, and an energy supply company. Please give me power and energy. I'd love that. And we have some new 3D models. That's pretty cool. Nice little light tractor, and some new infantry models, including hot and cold weather guys with rolled up sleeves. Very cool. And the next one's going to be all about raids, which is very cool. Germany can lower the defenses of the Belgian fortress of Eben Emiel. Oh, okay, that's actually interesting. A specific reference to what the raids are going to be. So specific, targeted, unique area bonuses. So historically, a lot of the Belgian defense was routed around the Belgian fortress of Eben Emiel, and they were all thinking, this is going to be great, we can just defend this, and Germans won't be able to do crap. And the German paratroopers just landed it and blew it up, and the army just walked past. It was brilliant. I mean, not for Belgians, but very cool strategy. That's interesting. You can do these specific historical raids. I'm really looking forward to that. The German systems are obviously going to be such a highlight for this DLC. The new MEFA bills, the Inner Circle, and the Reichskommissariats. I really, really want to talk about the Reichskommissariats. I think that will be so interesting. I love the granularity and change that's being hinted at and talked about here. I like that we can go down the infantry or tank path, which is very cool. Obviously, probably more appropriate if you go down the non-historical things like the monarchist path. You want to be a little bit more trenchy if you want to keep in theme. The naval branch is interesting, not terribly big, but not very small either. I quite like the idea of going at least a limited naval Germany, because Sea Lion is fun. Aircraft carriers, very cool. It's all going to depend on how cool they are and how good the bonuses are. There's not a ton here about like the Inner Circle and some of the more specific granular elements of like the specific bonuses and directions you can take. And I love me some old history, so I really want to see what the different branches and paths are available. But so far I like this. I think it's pretty cool. In a way, I kind of thought it might be a bit bigger. It is a big focus tree, don't get me wrong, but it's not amazingly big. But I'm still excited to see the full expanded tree and see what I can get my hands on. I'm going to be planning so many different videos for this DLC, like just, so many. I've got a lot of plans. I've got a document that every single time I read the dev diary, I get new ideas, and I write down new ideas, and it has like 15 on them right now. I am psyched for this DLC. And if you want to pick it up, by the way, you can check my link down below, which specifically has a link to the Paradox store. It gets you a Steam key. It's the same price. And there's also a bunch of other discounted Paradox games. If you're missing any, I get a very small cut, supports the channel, and you get a game. Hooray. So check that out if you want. And if you are interested in hearing more from me, I've been covering dev diaries twice a week. And I do toy videos twice a week as well, historical and challenges. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for listening to me ramble about my favorite game and frankly, my favorite country in the game and all the crazy things I'm going to do. I am psyched to play historical Germany. Thank you so much for watching. Do be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Tell me what you are most looking forward to from this dev diary, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.